Why don't bees ever get married? Because they're already queen bees, and they don't need a king to rule their world. Now let's buzz into the hive of hilarity with an array of bee-lightful jokes that are unbelievably funny. Just remember, if you're allergic to laughter, you might want to keep your EpiPen handy. Ever wonder why bees hum? It's because they don't remember the words. But don't worry, I remember all the punchlines. And speaking of music, do you know what the bees' favourite pop group is? The Beatles, of course. They can't resist a good buzz band. Next up, what do bees style their hair with? Honeycomb. And you thought your hair gel was sticky. Now, what do you call a bee that lives in America? USB. But be warned, they don't store data, they only store pollen. And did you know that bees can fly higher than Mount Everest? Yes, they can, but they don't because they don't have the right climbing gear. And let's be honest, who wants to lug around oxygen tanks when you've got wings? Now, have you ever heard about the bee who was a poet? They're always waxing poetic. I guess you could say they've got a real buzz for literature. And finally, we've arrived at the grand finale. Drum roll, please. What do you call a bee that can't make up its mind? A maybe. But here's the real kicker, folks. The biggest joke of all. Bees don't actually tell jokes. They're too busy being, well, busy bees. I mean, have you ever tried to crack a joke while pollinating an entire ecosystem? It's not as easy as it sounds, trust me. Well, that's all the buzz for now. Remember, life's a hive, so make sure to stop and smell the roses. And if you see a bee, don't swat it, just laugh at it. After all, it's probably just buzzing around trying to come up with a good punchline.